Hello and welcome to our flip video lesson 3.02, Justinian and Theodora. So the links will be posted here once the recording posts. You want to go back and look at them. Learning objectives of this lesson. Explain the purpose and importance of Justinian's code. Identify Justinian as the 6th century emperor responsible for developing a code of law. Identify Theodora as a powerful empress and Justinian's wife and aide. Identify Hagia Sophia as the great architectural achievement of Justinian's reign. Recognize the role of trade in the Byzantine Empire. And so the introduction, we'll be talking about Justinian and Theodora, Emperor and Empress of the Byzantine Empire. Your student guide are pages 374 and 375. 374 looks like it went with the last lesson, but the questions actually go with this lesson. So the student guide is a little bit different today. Important vocabulary, we'll go over a little bit of vocabulary to help you with the understanding of this lesson. And then your Human Odyssey reading pages 450 to 457. And please remember, as always, it's super important to have your reading complete to have a full understanding of this lesson. Introduction, Justinian and Theodora. Many people helped the Byzantine Empire grow and prosper, but none contributed more than Justinian and Theodora. Acting as a team, the Emperor and Empress provided forceful leadership and great insight. They expanded the empire and united it through law, art, and architecture. Who were Justinian and Theodora? Read on to learn more. Or I should say listen on to learn more. So go ahead and open your student guide to page 274. And there's not a lot of room to write. Again, this looks like it went with the previous lesson. But you can write down right underneath. There's a big open section. Or if you'd like, you can get a piece of paper and write on that. So question number 1, why was Justinian's code created and why was it important? So Justinian's code was a law or were laws that were made kind of like Hammurabi's code. The laws of the empire had become outdated. Sometimes one law repeated another and sometimes two laws might say opposite things. Justinian thought the laws were confusing. He believed that a single empire needed a single set of laws. He wanted all his subjects to obey the same laws, no matter where they lived. He believed the laws should be easy to understand and should not contradict each other. Justinian's code helped unite the Byzantine Empire. It also later served as a model for the codes of laws in many modern nations. And you can always pause this video as needed to fill in your answers or to check what you've already completed. Question number 2. What were Justinian's major accomplishments as emperor? He doubled the size of his empire. He created Justinian's Code. He transformed the capital city into a city with many churches, including the magnificent Hagia Sophia. He also built an enormous underground aqueduct. And you can take a look at this map. You can see the Byzantine Empire. Okay, and then by the time of his death, the Byzantine Empire also included this area here. Question number 3. Who was Theodora and what were some of her contributions to the Byzantine Empire? Theodora was the empress' wife, partner, and trusted advisor to Justinian. She gave a speech that helped end a revolt and save the empire, built hospitals, converted an old palace into a home for women, helped build the Hagia Sophia, and assisted in seeing that an underground aqueduct was constructed. So you can see that Theodora and Justinian were a pair to be reckoned with, actually. They both worked together to create a lot of new improvements for the Byzantine Empire. Question number 4. What is the Hagia Sophia? The Hagia Sophia is a huge domed cathedral built by the Byzantine Emperor Justinian in Constantinople around AD 535. The name means holy wisdom. And this is a picture of the inside, but there are lots of pictures that you can search up of the beautiful domed church cathedral. Vocabulary is key to understanding comprehension. So here's just a few vocabulary words I picked out. 6th century is 501 AD to 600 AD. Okay, remember we count that 500 would be in the 5th century, so 501 to 600 AD. Aid means to assist to an important person, especially a political leader. And so one of our objectives was how Theodora was an aide to Justinian. Empress is the wife or widow of an emperor. And then committee is a group of people appointed for a specific function, typically consisting of members of a larger group. And then, as I said in the beginning, reading is key to understanding and comprehension. Please make sure you do complete your reading pages for this lesson, pages 450 to 457. And then our quote for today: when liberty destroys order, the hunger for order will destroy liberty. And that was said by Will Durant. And that's from the Harper Book of Quotations. And here we come to the end. Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Have an amazing day. Thanks so much for joining me.